Can you guys hear us?
Okay.
Check.
Do we have to use mics?
No.
Check.
No.
You don't use mics, then they'll just hear me. Hello?
Yo, which mic
Maybe this
number
one's
are
not
you not
working.
using?
No one's responded.
Who are you?
Don't need that one.
I don't want to use a mic. This is too small of a room.
Enjoy your crappy audio for panel video.
Jeez, thanks.
No, we're close enough to the camera where.
Oh yeah,
Is your Twitter handle PaleoSteno?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Paleo diet.
I have like 200 accounts that are like paleo diet accounts that follow me. Like they automatically do it. It's weird.
Alright, Paleo, start us out.
Why don't
start
you?
that with a stretch and a yawn?
Alright, let's go.
Saber, why don't you start us out like old times?
Why don't you both start us out and I'll
Alright.
just sit back?
My name is Saberspark. My name is Steven in real life. What's your name, Paleo?
My name is Paleo.
And we did a podcast back in the day
Yeah.
called Brony Breakdown. And we retired it back in, what year was it?
2014.
So
Yeah.
we don't really do it anymore, obviously. We switched over to another podcast called POS Podcast, but we really decided to go ahead and do one more Brony Breakdown panel just for the heck of it.
Yeah, usually when we go to the conventions, we like do some kind of panel where we do like what we did in the podcast.
Welcome
Just
to
talk.
the burial of Brony Breakdown. The casket's on its way.
Funeral procession.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we've
Well-
done, like, the last one, where it was like, okay, this is the last one, and now let's do the panel at, like, MLP, MSP.
Yeah.
Harry
And
keeps
then,
bringing this thing back from the dead. I'm like, let it die.
Well,
He's like,
yeah.
let's give it another panel. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You and me both, brother.
What are you doing
I
here?
don't know, man. Well, the podcast was just talking about My Little Pony episodes and I guess content being created in the fandom. And it was, I guess, a popular podcast as far as just...
Yeah, like, our peak was around 500, like, viewers.
Whoa.
So, live
On
viewers.
a good day.
Yeah, on a good day.
So it was
Yeah.
fun while it lasted. We had, I think, Andrew Lemon join us one time as a guest, which was
Yeah.
kind of cool. And, oh, who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Well,
Lizard Man.
no, I was just enjoying the show. I'm ACRacebest. I was not
Ever.
I was on the show more so as a guest. I think maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
With you guys. But it's always been kind of a thing where I invite myself onto their panel because I like sitting up here.
He likes to talk.
I like to talk.
He's very much so a speaker.
I don't know how to shut up. But yeah, no, so I'm here to keep them both on track. And actually, the reason I'm sitting between them is because they had the benefit during their podcast that they would always start butting heads. And he usually wanted to strangle your throat, so I'm going to keep him back from
Like his fingers can fit around my throat to begin with.
He could try. He has nails, remember? Oh, yeah. Not
That's
anymore.
the thing is, skinny people are like cats. They can scratch and bite, but they don't have crushing power. That's what dogs have. So welcome to our
So you're
dog
a
fighting panel.
Oh.
For Brony Breakdown, like I said, we talk about the episodes and everything. And I guess for this podcast, I mean, a lot of it's going to be us talking to you all. If you have questions or whatever, fire them away. But I think it's very interactive. So first off, has anybody ever seen Brony Breakdown before? Really? Really?
Oh, wow. So a lot of people. Oh,
I have.
Really?
what are you eating?
Panda Express.
What
You
from
want
Panda-
some race?
What
No.
from Panda Express? What is it?
That's the string bean and chicken and fried rice.
Nice.
There you go.
We love food.
Yes.
Like every day I talk to Race, he's like, I'm getting dinner. I'm like, what are you eating? Describe it to me
Like, our
Detail.
conversations are entirely about what we're going to eat. That's it. Actually, that's the basis of our friendship.
food.
Yeah, food.
Alright, so you've seen Brony Breakdown. When did you start watching it?
I was back in like 2012.
Oh, so
What's your name?
yeah.
Riley.
Riley? Do you have an alias online?
I don't remember what I went by when I went to the Brony Breakdown chat.
Do you have a favorite podcast? Like a
Uh,
favorite episode or something?
favorite episode of the podcast?
Yeah, or anything.
I couldn't remember anything in particular.
I try to
Yeah,
forget too myself.
I can't remember.
What about you?
a certain one either.
Me?
Yeah.
I think I probably also started watching around 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
What do you go by?
I was Brother Bean. Probably don't remember. That fell into the background.
Well, I appreciate you all watching now. I'm sorry I had to go watch it to begin with.
What
Do you guys like brought on like Tom Oliver as one of your
Yeah.
main guys as well?
Yeah.
He,
Tom, yeah, and
didn't he replace you like for this while that you were working?
I dropped
Yeah.
out in the end because I was busy, and he took my
Yeah.
spot. And then Pale was like, hate everything. Quit the podcast. When we officially retired it, we
Yeah.
changed it to
And-
POS podcast.
Yeah, and on that one we talk about like movies and TV shows, and still talk about cartoons and everything.
We just felt like the pony stuff was kind of like,
Yeah,
Well, it was still on your channel.
yeah.
You weren't even in
I want to get the subscribers. What can you do?
it. Whatever.
I
All
felt
right.
like it was. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm like a toilet.
Oh, and that's why we created the semi-perfect podcast.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, we also do a podcast. Race and I called it the Semi-Perfect Podcast, but
To keep all this in one podcast,
exactly.
and then the POS podcast covers everything else.
Well, if you all have any questions about anything, please don't be shy. It can be whatever. I mean, it's one of those like chilled out last day panels. What's up? Tuning, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The Brony Breakdown. Where does that name come from? Is that the subject of?
It's
Cows.
weird. It's alliteration in cows. Let me explain why. I was driving to get some Chinese food. I think that's an important part of the story. And when I was driving, 'cause at the time I was thinking I want to do a podcast with Paleo. We just met. We just released some videos that I guess were gaining momentum. We thought, let's do a podcast with each other about ponies.
It was like when we just met too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are folks that
Aww.
Brony
So sweet.
podcast. There's a bunch of Brony
What,
podcasts.
Bronyville and
Yeah, Bronyville, Brony State,
you know, Brony Show.
Brony shit,
Like-
whatever.
Yeah.
And I was driving to get some Chinese food, and I saw a cow in a pasture, and for some reason I thought, Brony Breakdown. And there's no connection between the cow and the actual word. Just, all I remember is looking at that cow, and that was the moment it came to my mind, like, it sounds good, or kind of, I don't know. So that's how we got the name.
I actually never knew that. That's really.
It was weird. It's a cow.
And you get a lot of inspiration from fast food, don't you?
And high cholesterol too.
Yeah.
All right, questions? Then don't be shy. It can be anything you want. Anything you want to talk about yourself. What's up?
So yeah, this is a question here. It's probably completely unrelated. Is it true you're planning on moving?
I'm considering it to California. Yeah.
Will you still be going to Midwest conventions?
Yeah. I mean, I was invited to go to Midwest Brony Fest.
I'll put it this way. He's looking at living or moving possibly to somewhere near where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am.
You're all
So
there.
yeah.
Yeah. We've pretty much become partners over the
It
years.
just become slightly more dehydrated.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll bring bottles of water in my backpack.
Yeah. Good luck keeping them. They confiscate
I'll make
us,
sure, I'll make sure to bring you a Coke next time I speak.
Please do. Yeah. It makes me think of home. Any other questions at all?
How old are you guys?
The guy back there.
We're all like this.
Saber, what's your favorite food?
Your food. Oh, let's save that one after this one.
Yeah. This one we can get through.
27.
27.
26.
Oh!
I'm 27 next month.
Noob.
What a youngster.
And then the food question. Favorite
You're only
food?
like 2 months older than me.
Favorite food.
Whatever I'm eating at the time. That's
You're
general.
from California, so avocados, burritos.
Burritos. No, I'm a sucker for burritos. Carne asada burritos.
What is it? What's that sushi? What's it? Lots of vegetables.
Ew.
You don't eat sushi? That's right. You don't like sushi.
I don't like anything that swims.
You don't like
California
fish.
roll.
Yeah.
What's that sushi roll from California again?
California roll.
California
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot, the one with cream cheese in
What's
it.
that clip sandwich from California Club?
What's
Yeah,
that?
the green cheese is Philly.
We actually were asked. We talked about this about like if the entire country had a potluck, all right, and each state had to bring one dish that represents it to that potluck. What would each
America
state
would bring
bring?
corn syrup.
No, each state
Oh.
in America.
But I like that America would bring corn syrup.
We would. Well, you said like burritos, and I'm from Georgia, and I said like peach cobbler and fried chicken and stuff like that. You're from North Carolina, so I guess you'd
Yeah,
be
like
depression.
barbecue.
Oh, barbecue.
What?
Barbecue, never mind.
What'd you say?
Depression.
Depression.
Or
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
or
that
anti-homosexual.
With a hint of salt and
no, depression is like Iowa.
That's true.
Oi, I'm from Iowa.
We're just seeing how many people we can insult in the next 50 minutes, alright?
Start has begun. Let's talk about Australia, how much it sucks.
Yeah.
All right.
You have your hand up in the back.
Favorite pony?
Favorite pony.
Oh, this one's easy.
Go on.
Are you going to change your answer like you do?
Go on.
all the time? Rainbow Dash is my favorite pony.
Yeah. Twilight's my favorite.
That was the most pathetic laugh.
Well, I like
Or a
when
pathetic
you say an
pony.
answer and you're all excited about it, and then you got people that just go, oh.
Yeah. No one go, woo!
Oh.
Paleo?
Yeah. Twilight's my favorite.
Why?
Because
Why?
Because why?
because she's dorky.
Okay. That's it?
Like interrogating.
That's it?
Well, why are you?
Why?
You didn't ask Race why.
Why do you like Rainbow Dash?
Yeah, why do I remember that?
Why do I like Rainbow Dash?
Because she sucks.
Womp, womp, womp.
Do you want to sit between us? Because this is about
No,
to
no,
get
no.
there. Why Rainbow Dash? For me, the first episode I ever saw was Fall Weather Friends. It was an episode
There
that
was an episode.
my girlfriend forced me to watch because I was not willing to watch the show on my own. I was like, no, I don't want to watch this. There's no reason for me to watch this. I remember seeing the commercials back when I was a kid. But the first character that I immediately was like this is cool, was Rainbow Dash. There was just something that I totally didn't expect in the show. So for me, Rainbow Dash, just from day one, I've always found a liking to that character. And I tend to latch, so I'm rooting for her in her good days and her bad days.
I change answers all the time, actually. All the time. It'll be Rarity sometimes. It'll be Rainbow Dash other times.
It'll be Human Celestia other times.
It's never Pinkie Pie. I think at the moment I'm a big fan of Fluttershy because she's just, she's adorable. And
Who's everyone else's favorites out there? Because it's been really
Derby.
represent. Okay, I see.
Let's go down the row. Let's just do this. So yours,
I like Pinkie Pie because I'm just obnoxious.
Nice.
yours,
Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
Rarity.
Therapy.
Rainbow Dash.
Yours?
Rainbow Dash.
Yours?
If I'm not allowed to say myself, then it's
Australians.
then, it's usually a tie between Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash.
Really? Okay, good.
Rarity.
Thank you. Crystals. Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese pony. What's that?
Final scratch.
There you go.
Rainbow.
Rainbow Dash. You?
Derby.
Jerk. Thank you. Thank you.
Rainbow.
Rainbow. Roger.
Applejack.
There's an Applejack. I was waiting. I'm like, my God.
You notice how he's in the background.
My girlfriend's favorite is Applejack, and she's like a heavy supporter of yes,
Woman's rights.
Applejack.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Applejack.
She's my favorite because she has common sense compared
She
to everyone
does.
else.
What's fun about Applejack is she's just that one who tends to have some of the funnier moments because she's the one who's just like, guys, you're all being idiots.
Yeah.
Come on.
She's the mother and kind of.
She's like, okay, those are my friends.
And briefly on this topic, and you're gonna so hate me for this, AC, but
Let's hear it.
the first
Next.
No.
What?
I need to say this because this is gonna be so bad. Well, the first episode I saw was the pilot. When I got to Fall Weather Friends, that was the episode that made me hate Rainbow Dash. So it was so obnoxious.
It's okay to be wrong. I mean, that's all about learning.
And I was totally on Applejack's side the whole time.
What
That's
about you two in the back?
I asked my daughter who should my favorite, and she said Applejack. I like Pinkie Pie the best.
Okay.
I like that she had you support the Applejack Coalition.
And two more. So you.
Pinkie
What?
Pie. Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, or Tree Hugger.
Tree
Okay.
hugger.
What about you?
Lyra.
Lyra.
There you go. Okay.
All right, so diversity there. And that's what I think is one of the strongest parts about this show is that
I'll go for your soapbox.
so the show got 6 main characters. No, but this, I mean, you got 6 characters that are the main characters that it's not like there's one character that everyone's like, yeah, that's the one, and then the others are cool. There's a lot of different favorites out there, and I think that's
Except for Spike.
yeah, one of the main 6.
We were watching. I was watching a video this morning on my phone, and a My Little Pony advertisement jumped up, and it was like the new playset from Hasbro with Celestia and Spike, and we're like, Spike?
Wasn't
Why are you hanging out with Celeste?
Wait,
Spike in the playset.
on Friday, didn't you pull up on accident the preview for the episode? Or
Yeah,
whatever? And
you
I was like, wait, don't play that. And he's like, okay, and he went to turn it off, and the phone what did it
It's
do?
something I had an error on my phone where I turned off the video, but it kept playing.
It kept playing.
Like you could hear the audio, but not the visual.
So we look like a bunch of monkeys, slapping the phone, stop!
Slapped my phone and it stopped.
And it worked. So they have something figured out over in the
Did you
jungle.
refrain from watching that because you were going to watch it?
He wants to react to it.
Oh, you have to react to it.
Oh, oops.
There you go.
No, I just for me it was a matter of I would have liked to have made
Here,
the
camera.
No, my camera! Don't hit the table so much.
Replay, that's
Oh no! Oh shit!
What's your language?
Oh yeah, I forgot this is a PG panel.
We're professionals. So, favorite ponies? Yeah.
Wait, so, oh yeah, the episode. They had the screening, but I think we were busy during
Let me
that.
make sure that's
so
right.
We missed it, and I was like, well, I'd like to just sit down and enjoy it. So, haven't had an opportunity.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes.
I've never seen your show, but I watched your panel earlier, and I was really impressed with you guys. So I'm going to start watching it. So forgive me if you've already covered this. In Thanks for the Memories, when Rainbow Dash learns that she's going to lose her pet, she goes through the same 5 stages of grief that somebody who would like lose a loved one, like actually they would die. Did you guys ever touch on that or cover it? I mean, do you think that was the point of that episode of My Little Pony trying to deal with the really complex issue of a family member dying?
See, I'm gonna admit I didn't even make the comparison. Like, I just thought she was just being stubborn in different ways. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people
I mean,
are
if
when
you
it
look
comes.
at it, like the 5 stages of denial, like
Yeah.
anger,
And there is no I in denial.
I've heard
There's no
about
I in
people-
denial.
Just denial.
Is this in
I
English?
hope y'all get this joke. No?
Yeah, it's funny, obviously.
Good work.
I was gonna say that for so one thing that's kind of fun about the Brony Breakdown panel up here, since it, like you guys have said, doesn't actually exist anymore. Up here we have a combo of 2 different podcasts. So there's the POS podcast, which has these 2 on it, as well as Jim is
Yeah, Jim and Tom.
Jim and Tom,
Yeah.
and then on the other end it's the Semi Perfect podcast with Saber and myself that we started.
And his girlfriend Sarah.
And my girlfriend has become like one of our main people in there too. She's kind of like the one piece of sanity that sits in there and just groans with everyone else while we keep going. When we started our podcast, it was after that episode. How long have we been going for? Like 3 months now?
I think so.
About 3 months. So we usually do go on about the like the episode that had aired that week. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down. We'll say what we liked, what we didn't like, and would have probably discussed. Someone probably would have come up and been like in the chat because we like interacting with our chat too. So in that sense, there had been a lot of discussion. I'm kind of like you where I didn't relate it to the death of someone, but when you bring it up, it's like that.
I mean, it's a very soft way of dealing with a very, in-depth problem, like a very serious problem.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you just change the word hibernate to die.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly what she's
essentially.
She feels like I'm never going to get tagged back.
Yeah, I mean, and it could go to a couple types of scenarios with that. So
Yeah.
very interesting observation.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, because a show like MLP probably can never directly touch on the subject of death. It's like too real for these kids.
Well, that one bird died, but then came back from the ashes.
In the first season.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember one.
Sombra.
Never mind. It's over died. No, you know what? I take it back. There's a lot of death in this show.
Interesting enough, Lauren Coast actually wanted that episode to be about dealing with the death of a pet.
Which one? The turtle one?
No, the birds of a feather.
Philomena.
Philomena.
I need to watch that one.
Philomena pissed me off in that episode, man.
Is that the one? Is it the one where?
That's the bird that's like the head like, and then it dies, and then Fluttershy's like, oh god.
Yeah, like the
Oh, I
ashes
forgot about
falling out.
that.
He's like, oh!
Yeah.
You literally burst into ashes. I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh, now you know what? Who pissed me off was Celestia. Why didn't she just tell Fluttershy, "Hey, this is gonna happen"?
She always is like that. She's always like, oh, just kidding.
Like people say Discord's a troll. Let's face it. Celestia's the one who's like,
Oh, by the way, the last episode, not the one from yesterday, but the one with Discord, like, was it the one where Pinkie Pie knows? Oh, no, it's not.
No, that's one about Discord.
That's the one. It was the worst episode ever.
I wouldn't call it the worst, but it's definitely on the lower half.
It's right there with Mary Well.
It's definitely
I'm sorry if I'm throwing things out that you want to disagree with. That's fine. Let me know.
One thing, there were some episodes where it gets to a point where I kind of just skip through it because I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna be, it's gonna be cringy. Like I have to actually skip through parts.
Like Mary Well.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the first. I remember.
"Wow, you guys are really soft skin."
I remember.
I had to skip it. It was too cringy.
I watched through it a second time once. I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna be kind of weird because I think I did the same thing with Spike ACRacebest and stuff. I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen, and I know it's going to be cringy.
I think it's cute that you hated it, but at the same time, I'm like, I found it
For which
to be
one?
the one that you hate.
With this Mayor?
I thought it was a really.
You gotta be specific of the episode. Mayor-Duell or the Discord one?
What one did you just bring up?
Mayor-Duell and the Discord one.
What about Discord?
No, you compared it to Mayor-Duell.
Well, you're talking about the
What
Discord
about
one.
The Discord
Just tell me. Alright, so the Discord one is awful.
So the Discord one.
Yeah, put it down.
No, I was gonna say that it had some really relatable moments in there, but the characters just pissed me off. I was like,
Everybody-
guys, stop it.
Everyone was being a jerk to each other. Just like Mayor-Duell.
Just like you and me right now.
They're being jerks.
I know.
See, it was relatable.
What favorite episode? What's your all's favorite episode? Oh, that's a good episode.
Like,
Oh!
like one of the ones that like everyone jumps on, like, oh, the 100th one, you know.
Equestria Girls.
Pinkie
Oh.
Pride. Pinkie Pride overlay.
Which one?
Pinkie Pride.
That was a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Crusaders of the Lost Mark.
That was good.
What's
I
theirs?
remember what it was. It was like when they first introduced Sakura and like the
Bridal
voice-
costume.
Oh, bridal costume. Yeah, that's.
I laughed
That-
so hard. It was Fluttershy.
I saw that before I'd ever seen the episode because I got into it after season 1 was complete, and I saw the video and I thought it was somebody online made a joke, and I'm like, that's pretty funny. And then I saw it in the episode. I'm like, oh my god, that's really funny.
I honestly say yesterday's episode's up there.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it.
That's definitely.
Everyone's like,
I'm not talking. I'm just saying it's up there.
Well, I mean, it was Amy Keaton Rogers' last episode, so I imagine she put a lot into it.
It's up there.
It's always large.
the intro ends and then they roll the credits.
Finn.
Taylor, what's your favorite?
I don't know.
You don't know? Grace?
This question I always have a different answer for this because it's like, that was a cool episode. There's a lot of ones that I really like, and it's hard
Season 2 finale was really good.
Like season 2 finale was really good.
T-Rex.
A lot of the season openers and finales, like the T-Rex episode, I think I've been leaning on because it's just that one just went, pardon my language, balls out. So yeah.
It was so obnoxious. It was just amazing.
Yeah. Is that even a bad word?
It's
like when you bring out the basketball.
I've never heard that term before.
You've never heard? Okay.
Time for gym class, balls out.
You're from Georgia.
What does that mean? what y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that before.
Mm.
All right.
My favorite episode is this one.
Keep your shirt on.
It's about time.
See, he's got poor taste.
Oh.
Why was that your favorite?
Oh, I just like the time travel thing.
Well, there's gonna be more of it soon.
Yeah, because don't say anything. But I know what's coming up.
It's so hard to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
It is hard.
All right, y'all have any other questions at all? Yes.
What was your favorite Hooves Live skit yesterday?
Oh, that's a good question.
I liked doing the sound effects. I believe you were part of that, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Abby, right?
Amy.
I'm sorry.
You did good.
Yes.
I'm just saying that.
No, you did really good.
I really wanted someone to finish that off with, and his name is John C. I really wanted someone to say that.
The thing about sound effects is, like,
It's enough point.
I'm gonna say, to answer your question, it was for me, it was, even though I technically didn't do anything in it, was Dead Bodies, because I was laughing so hard when Beavids was doing his deal.
I got a cup full of Garnica's bottom when I'm standing. I'm like imagining this girlfriend being like, shit was great. Give me a glare.
I was cringing so much.
Oh, so was I.
Kate is the actress. Rose is the character.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was wondering what are you going on.
When they said, "Don't look at me," I didn't. That was
It was
final
dress
draft.
fault. Dress fault. Blame him.
When he did say Kate and Jack, I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
but
okay.
okay.
Like Kate was saying something.
No, the actress and the character.
I was cringing throughout the entire panel as well. But, I liked, what was it? Shoot. What was the game we did? That was before sound effects.
The Party Quirk one?
No.
Oh, you probably hated that one because you had to figure out who everyone
I was
was.
so confused.
The changing one?
What was
You
that?
say
Quick change. That was fun.
That was a good one.
Gardner's good. My favorite Who's Line ever, though, was BurnCon this past year. Like, we had Jesse Nowacking, and we had Ali Monty join us, because Henry Beavids and Black Griffin Gabe weren't there.
Yeah.
So, and you go going to Pacific PonyCon at all, in San Diego. If you can't, don't worry. This guy uploads our Who's Lines to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
and he's got a couple of archived ones. But if you want to watch a really good Who's Line, I mean, the best we have to offer is BronyCon 2015. That was really good.
It was hilarious.
You saw it?
Yeah, I was there.
We were on point that day. It was
I
perfection.
think one of the best ones was 2014 MSP.
That was
Oh yeah.
That was
I think
pretty
it was
good
Dead
too. I was
Bodies
there for
and
that
you were
one.
baking, and you got, I think you got
Helping Hands.
2015, there was still cake there.
That was
Okay.
Helping
Grace,
Hands
you have to
twice.
understand. You had ground the cake into the stage panels.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there to
It's
stay.
still there to this day.
Yeah.
We made our mark. We did Helping Hands twice. We did it 2014 with chocolate cake, and we did it again with Larson involved with it in 2015.
Yeah.
And every single time I end up getting like confectionery goods slammed in my face. So it was a good time.
Yeah. No, yeah, we really enjoy all of them though. It's been a lot of fun. I was gonna add too. Yesterday was our first time ever doing the Improbable Mission.
Yeah, when we were waiting for the music, I'm like, "Where's our theme music?" And the audience was great.
I love that
The
everyone was
audience
like dun dun dun.
I'm like, "What an awesome audience!"
Yeah.
But the music was supposed to come on.
Jeff was genuinely like ticked off by that. Like I saw it, he was like,
Yeah, mine.
He was like, "Play the music."
So I'm like, "Here's our theme." It didn't play. And
Crickets.
the audience jumped in. I'm like, "What an awesome audience."
Yeah.
I also spotted Final Draft, like when he did the buzzer, he was just like, "Turn this up." It was like not loud enough.
Yeah. He's a good Drew Carey though.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
This one's for Saber. What was your demolition derby experience?
So tell them, just to let y'all know, back in August, I think it was August, September of this year, I went to go to Equestriale, which is a pony convention. A pony convention in Los Angeles, in Anaheim, and Race here does demolition derbies and car stuff as not even just about a hobby. It's like part of his life. ACRacebest.
Yeah.
And when I was there visiting for the weekend, he said, "Come over and drive a demolition car with me." I'm like, "Well, heck yeah! How often do you get this chance in your life?" And he and his girlfriend, his buddy Tommy, painted up a Fluttershy. What was it? Was it a Honda Accord?
Oh, the car that you were driving? I don't even remember what.
I think it was an Accord.
It was.
You were driving a Civic, right?
Yeah, I was in a Civic.
It was an Accord
Yeah.
with no power steering, mind you. So
I felt bad for him.
I
I've
felt
never.
like turning ship on the high ocean.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. How many people were in the audience? You think like?
But we probably were close to selling out, so about 7,000 people.
It was amazing.
And that's another 1,000 in the pit area. So.
And it was a big old concrete like racetrack, and we go out there, all the cars getting lined up. I'm getting nervous, got my helmet on, and they go, and all the cars they ran into each other. I was the first to die, because I hit a couple cars, and he has footage of this on his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna add to this real quick, is that also we do all this stuff, but there's a series that I put out on my channel called The Low Budgets, where we go through showing people how we put the cars together. Because a lot of people know what a demolition derby is, but there's a lot of time and stupid stuff that happens between one to the next, and it's really I find it really comical as far as what cars can actually do to you. So so we have a whole series dedicated to it, and then actually show the competitions. And this one I'm gonna have a full-fledged video coming out hopefully in the next month or two about this demolition derby that he's talking about.
An incredible experience. I mean, you're in a modern day Coliseum with, instead of shields and swords, a 1-ton vehicle just crashing. Was it about a 1 ton or so?
It's a compact car.
It felt big, and they were just crashing each other. I was the first to die, like I said. I remember pulling away from the mess of cars, and I threw my car to what I thought was drive, but it was actually park. And I was just like, and I see the other cars turn in reverse and just see them coming right at me and just crushed my engine. It was like an accordion, and I was done after that. But it was a great experience.
Yeah, I ended up winning that demolition derby.
Yeah, you got first place.
Yeah, in a Pinkie Pie car. So.
It was sort of a tie at the end. And he had to win the audience over. The announcer was we have to hear from the audience who won. And I'm like, Race is gonna win.
So for anyone that that is familiar with demolition derbies, we actually had a couple issues in the past where the track was this derby's taking too long and we're going to have a vote off, to which a lot of the competitors, including my team and myself, basically went, "What are you doing? That's not how you finish a demolition derby." We had some new people running that were "Just stop whatever you think you're doing." What happened, the reason they had a vote off here was because this one guy's car, I couldn't get it to die, and I knew that my motor, I could hear it starting to stumble, starting to give up. The radiator was smashed in. The car was like, I'm gonna give up on you. And I knew I had pretty much one good hit left. So he was coming around a corner. He thought he was gonna snooker me because he saw me going in reverse. I stopped, I threw it in forward, and I just, for all it was worth, drove straight into the front end of his car. So hard that we actually got stuck. Both of our cars were still running, but they were just completely jammed into each other. And that's why it was legitimately where two cars stopped at the same time. But there was kind of a designation where the officials were like, well, technically you got the last hit. But on top of that, then the fan vote off pretty much.
He won it. He got on top of his car, and it was game over. That guy didn't stand a chance.
It was a pink car. That alone had people going, yes!
We also did
a lot of Peaky Pie fans were in the stands that day.
An Enduro, I believe is what it's
Yeah, an Enduro, basically taking the same type of cars, but in a race with a bunch of other people that don't care about their cars. So they don't lift going into the turns. They'll hit you for all you're worth. They'll get you out of the way.
Pod racing.
And I took him around. He was in my passenger seat for the race.
It was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, so it was.
You're like getting this close to cars. I mean, you hit cars.
I broke both of my side mirrors during that race.
You did?
Yeah.
I noticed.
I remembered you were like, this is funny. Your side mirror broke off.
It must have been like punch drunk or something. I was too happy.
Well, it was fun actually in the footage of him in the Demolition Derby when he was watching the end of it when I was fighting for the victory.
Oh,
he sat in his car punching his roof going, "War boys!" So channeling your Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was a great weekend. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah.
What was the first con that you've ever been to? Now, I'm not talking specifically like MLP related ones, but
I robbed a bank in California.
Now I'm asking just because this is the first con I've ever been to.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else is their first? You? First time? First? Oh wow, great.
Yeah.
Y'all having fun?
This is my first time in Wisconsin, so it's kind of a first there. Yeah. It's cold, guys.
It's from California, so.
Yeah.
Snow?
It gets 70 at home, and we're like, all right, everyone, turn on your heaters.
Yeah, bring some back with you and change back to water.
You need the water.
It's so funny. I have never been to a convention before in my life prior to My Little Pony. And I went to BronyCon, I think 2012 in Secaucus, New Jersey, I think it was Secaucus?
Yeah, it was Secaucus. Yeah.
And I've gone to, I think, over like a dozen pony conventions ever since. So I went from like, and your first con was, what was it again for you?
Everfree 2012, Everfree Northwest in Seattle was my first one. I drove up there. It was a 17-hour drive. And it was, I did it on purpose. I could have flown, but I'm like, I want to experience the road trip fun. My girlfriend was with me, so we went up together. And yeah, I didn't know what to expect. At the time, I had already been making the Brony's React series. So I also didn't know, like, yeah, people would recognize me if I'd go into a chat. And I'm like, it'll be interesting to see if anyone knows who I am or not at all. And I was kind of expecting the not at all. I didn't even get into the convention until someone opened the door and they're like, welcome ACRacebest. And we're like, oh, okay. But it was a great experience, and obviously what kind of set off what, at least for me, I was like, I gotta go to more of these. I wanted to really go to BronyCon 2012, but I got into the show so late that by the time I started meeting friends and getting to know people, everyone was already booked and planned and ready to go to 2012's BronyCon, and I was like, it's 2 months away. So
it was around like 2011 when the fandom really got popular, like outside the internet with conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
And for you,
actually, technically, my first convention was Animazement, which is a local.
That's anime.
And yeah, it's anime. It's a convention local to me in North Carolina, because I kind of wanted to go to a convention before going to BronyCon, and my friend here Sashi said that there was Animazement going on, so I went to that for like a day, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So yeah, and then I went to BronyCon, and then pony conventions ever since.
Just since you mentioned the first one you'd ever gone to, the first convention I'd ever gone to in my life was for Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Nice.
There were 6 people. And it was a blast.
Convention.
Yeah, we called it Ranger Con. And it was like, yeah, look at us. And then I went to a My Little Pony convention and I was like, oh.
What's a vendor hall?
They have an autograph room? Oh. So, yeah, no, that was fun.
Saber, you've been doing Anime Con though.
Yeah, I've been to one.
Yeah.
I went to Atlanta or Georgia. There's a lot of anime conventions, and I went to one called Anime Week in Atlanta, and that was cool. I mean, a lot of different cosplays, a lot more variety than My Little Pony. It's multicultural.
There's a lot of colors in My Little
We met at Ad for Northwest, by the way.
Yeah.
For the first time.
And we were so formal about it. We're like,
you were late to your stinking. Okay, so
yeah.
I was hungry.
Whatever. So at the time we were doing Burn Chronicles. Did you ever see that at all? Okay. It was. Thank you. It was a video that Pale and I collabed on with some other folks, and it was just. I mean,
when is it gonna come out?
Never.
Oh.
All right. So it's out on YouTube, my YouTube channel. But we were interviewing folks, and one person we wanted to interview was ACRacebest, and he was, I believe, 30 minutes late to his interview.
Yeah.
Thank you, friend.
15.
30.
25. 27. Yeah, no, what happened was, my girlfriend has celiac disease, so she can't eat gluten, any kind of bread products, she can't drink beer.
What a hipster.
And so for her, we're like, oh, there's a Red Robin that's 30 minutes away. We can make this work because the interview is not for, an hour and 15 minutes. That gives us 15 minutes to eat if you do the math.
Engineer.
Well, I was hungry, so I did feel really bad. But yeah, it was so funny because like we were, like I said, so formal at the convention where you shake your hand. Thank you.
I'm like, hey, you're ACRacebest.
Saberspark. It says it on your shirt.
Nice to meet you. And now we're like, like we are retired.
Retired.
We are the dumbest people ever.
Yeah.
So.
Retired.
Yeah, we are dumb.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other questions?
You have a question back there.
I know some of us, we do follow your vacation vlogs.
Ew.
I know we all saw your ukulele 2015, but for those of us who don't, how was it taking Saber on the roller coaster?
So Saber hated. Well, I guess I can let you open this up.
Yeah. So I live close to Six Flags, and not too close actually, but like I had a really bad experience as a kid going on a roller coaster for the first time. I got the God of fear, the fear of God, into the God of fear, Larson. But you have water? All right, so I was scared of heights, not airplanes, but just roller coasters. Well, I went to Disneyland with Race here in 2013, I believe, or 2012, I believe, and
no, yeah,
it was 2012, yeah, it was like 2012.
That was a while ago.
Gone. So we went on the California Screamer. No, you did not. I went with...
You went with the group.
Yeah, you missed it. We went next time, didn't we?
We did it twice that weekend.
We did? Okay.
Because I remember God, I don't know.
He always films everything.
No, you're right. It was the following time, 2013.
Yeah, because that was... Because he was like, I want to go to Disneyland.
Because I was like, I showed it during the panel, but I didn't have a panel in 2012. So
Yeah. So he got me on the roller coaster. He convinced me. He's filming the entire time. He's gonna be a great dad someday, and the way he'll embarrass his kids and film everything they do.
They are screwed.
They really are. They really are. So, so the roller coaster was terrifying. Yes, but after a while, it kind of broke me to where I started having fun, and I won't do the Tower of Terror though. That's
no. Come on.
Oops.
Oh, well, see, what's no fun about Tower of Terror is you can't film on that ride.
So
they'll stop the ride if you have anything out. So I'm like, well, fine, you cannot do that one. Yes. I can't. Like, my girlfriend was the same way with the California Screamer, and she actually did let me video it on the stipulation that I'll only show close friends. And I'm like, but all of my subscribers
on the internet.
are my close friends. So yeah, so that was like a New Year's special that I put out. She did not enjoy that ride.
I have a story for you all. So how many of y'all watched the Equestrial vlogs from this past year? You did? Okay. So did you all watch the video where I tell my story about Bonnie Zackerly? Is that how you say her name?
Oh my God.
Yeah, Zackerly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, she is the creator of My Little Pony, like the franchise. She created it back in the 1980s, and she went to Equestria LA. So she's pretty much like, in a way, a step above Lauren Faust as far as who is the one responsible.
Lauren looks up to Bonnie.
Yeah, Lauren. That's why Lauren also went. She got to go meet her as idol.
And it's very rare. Like Bonnie, was that her first convention?
Yes.
There you go.
Well,
first
Brony
convention. Yeah.
So we're all really excited that she's there and everything, and we went to the opening ceremonies, and Bonnie was there. She's like, hi, can't wait to see you all later. Have a good con. And she walked off the stage, and the panel came to an end. And Race and I and his girlfriend were walking back to our room, and Race is like, hey, look, there's Lauren Faust. And Lauren Faust is going down the escalator. And I'm like, I want to say, I love you so badly. I want to drop my spaghetti right now. But I decided to, I won't do it. And by the way, I have a plastic cup in my hand.
Vital to the story.
Yeah, it's very important. And I was like, oh no. In my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I'll maybe see her some other time. And Race is like, well, Saber, why didn't you say hi to Lauren? I said, I'm walking towards the elevator. I'm like, because I don't want to be an embarrassment. I take my cup for whatever reason and I just throw it to the ground, hoping that it would balance. It shatters.
As the elevator doors open.
The elevator doors are slowly opening.
And Bonnie, in the elevator, what the heck?
She's just looking at all these cup pieces shatter in front of her open-toed high heels. And she's like, what the heck? And I fell to the ground. I didn't even make eye contact with her. I just knew it was her. And I was like, I'm sorry, as I'm literally picking up my spaghetti. It was the most embarrassing moment. And considering I've been doing this for a while now, I thought, okay, I've missed my embarrassing moments, or I've got them out of my system. I'm good from this point on. Nope, I'm going to throw a cup at the toes of the creator of our pony.
Oh God, I was.
He laughed so hard that he actually farted.
Yeah, I did.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, we were all just really representing ourselves at that point. Weren't we?
Yeah.
Bonnie!
Wow, proud.
Right. Palio's the only one that's like, you guys suck.
His bad name. Alright, any other questions? Yes.
Do you guys ever get recognized, like, just in your everyday lives?
I got
like,
stories.
walk around, it's like, hey,
I got stories too.
ACRacebest or Paleo or whatnot.
Let me start off.
You go first.
I answer your question. I've never been recognized outside of a convention.
Okay, so now Paleo.
But I had the audacity one time to walk up to a person and ask them if they knew me. This was early on, though. I don't do this anymore. I'm trying to be very humble.
This was yesterday.
This was. I was at a Mexican restaurant with my father, and this is back in like 2012 or so. So even then, I was like 2,000 subscribers, big deal. Mm-hmm. And I saw, and the thing is, Georgia is very there's not many Bernies there. Like even today, there's no conventions, no Bernie groups, nothing. And it's like I've given up the hope of ever seeing that. I just don't care anymore. But I saw this maybe 16-year-old kid wearing a fedora and a derpy hoodie. I'm like, he's my people. And I got up and I walked over to him and I'm like, My Little Pony. Do you know who Saberspark is? And he's like, no, he's Chip. I'm like, oh. Enjoy your meal. And walked away defeated. And I realized I'm never gonna do that again.
I've been recognized as Saberspark. at school, some guy was like,
what?
It was a similar story, except he was wearing a derpy shirt, not a hoodie. So I walked up and I started talking to him a little bit, and through the conversation, he's like, you look kind of familiar. And I'm like, yeah? He's like, but I don't want to say it because I'll probably be wrong. And I'm like, no, you might be right. And then he's like, are you Saberspark? And I was like, yes.
There are times at conventions people be like calling me Race and him Saber.
And we just roll with it.
People call me Final Draft. Or I'm like, how dare you?
I've been recognized at my local...
Dusty Cat?
No, as the Living Tombstone.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. That Everfree Northwest 2012, someone came up to like, are you the Living Tombstone? I was like, yes. But outside of conventions, actually, my local Walmart, I was walking around, just shopping or whatever, and I made a joke about the prices of, there were these Pop-Tarts that were $2.97, and then next to them Pop-Tarts that were $2.98, and I'm like, those are too expensive, so I got it. And I was making a joke to my girlfriend, and I think what happened was one of the workers was walking by, and I saw him stop out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, he's probably going to make a comment about like what I just said with the prices or whatever. And he slowly started walking up, and all out of the corner of my eye, so I'm not like looking at him. And I'm just looking at him like I'm really interested. I don't know what's about to happen. Someone's going to say something. Excuse me. Yeah? Are you ACRacebest? No? No, yeah, and I was like, oh wow, how funny is that? The Walmart across the street from my house.
He was also recognized at work.
At work?
That lady
That wasn't so much recognition. Okay, so
That's good detective work.
you brought it up. Sometimes I talk too much. Yeah. You guys will like this story. Sometimes I talk too much, and
What else is new?
yeah. And I, at work of all places, I like to keep work and personal life separated for obvious reasons, because it'd take a really long time to explain this one. This lady that was there, she's like, "So you're going to Wisconsin this week?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And as far as I explain, I'm performing comedy. I'm doing an improv deal. And, people are like, "Okay, cool." That's all they need to hear. Well, this lady's like, "So where are you performing?" I'm like, "It's at a convention." And she has children, so she knows that at a convention means it probably has a name. So what's it called? I don't remember. She's like, "You're going there in 2 days and you don't know the name of this place that you're flying to?" I'm like, "I think it's called Ciderfest." So she Googles it up, and I'm like, "There's probably a bunch of those in Wisconsin, right?" And the second link down, Ponyville Ciderfest is on their Google search. So she clicks the first one. She's like, "This must be it." And it's like this Cider Fest. It's this thing that has nothing to do with any kind of cartoons, which I had explained. Oh, it's a cartoon convention. And so she's like, "Well, this can't be it." And I'm like, just give up. Just give up!
Oh, the computer's broken!
So she's like, no! And so she then scrolls down a little bit and sees the My Little Pony link, and she's like, "This can't be it. This is a My Little Pony convention." And everyone in the room, and I'm just like, "Nope, that can't be it." Not at all. So she clicks it. And of course, the first thing she sees is November 20th through the 22nd. And she just slowly was like,
I hope that your face is on the main screen when
Did you go to the guest page?
and I'm just sitting there like, "Okay, yeah, that's it." and then I was like, "Well, you got me." So she was the first one to, I've actually told my manager at work about this because I went to Germany and I was like justifying why I'm going to be gone for a week from work. And he's like, "Wait, these people are flying you out?" And then I went, "Oh, crap." "Yeah." "Why? Who are you?" "Yeah." So it was just a funny story. I'm like, man, she asked the right questions, but she was cool about it. She's like,
I can't wait if we get back to work and she's like
my whole cubicle is just decked out.
She's like, "Jeffrey, I went Mexican today for lunch." Oh, crap. She's holding a little pony toy up.
Yeah, so that was a funny deal. Have you been recognized?
Yes, I've been recognized once, and I go to the movies a lot. So one day when I came back to the movies, I saw on Twitter somebody mentioned me as like, "I think I saw Paleo at the movies," and I was like, "Oh, they must go to the theater I go to." And then I found out that she actually works there. So apparently she recognized me from Brony Breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's a really awful series.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. And so should everyone else.
Any questions? Yes.
I was gonna say for ACRacebest, Saberspark. At this point in Brony conventions, you guys are the kind of guests that will be on panels that have nothing to do with you. Say the VA panel, reading the rarity script or whatever. How does it feel to know that you guys are in that position where you can be in panels sitting next to voice actors and writers and stuff?
You want to go first?
To be fair, they actually got to be on the panel with us.
Yeah. The thing is, okay, so we are extraordinarily blessed.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I want y'all to know that. Every single individual in here is an amazing person. That's very important to know. Because when it comes to convention stuff, if you're in the audience watching, you think, "Oh, they're the people on stage, they matter." No. Everyone's an individual who matters. And
it's gotta be a good feeling.
Oh yeah, you get stars in your eyes. I mean, I had stars in my eyes when I first got into the pony stuff, and eventually kind of faded and was replaced with more of a humbling, these are my friends.
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
The VAs, Tabitha asked us to join them,
Right.
which was very flattering.
Yeah.
And Black Griffin?
Yeah.
Good friend of ours. He works in Vancouver. He works close with the show staff. I wouldn't doubt it if he somehow has something to do with this. Maybe, I don't know. But
We asked him to pay.
Be quiet. But the show staff are just people as well.
Yeah.
Once you can realize that, it's a lot easier to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
but still, it's like these are professionals, so it's kind of cool to work on stage with them. Oh god, it's final draft.
He's been here for like
Yeah,
15
you didn't
minutes.
see him come in?
Oh, I'm sorry, he blended in with the wall.
I'm here to learn.
Saber's not very good with patterns.
Saber,
Yes.
how does I famous?
Hold on 1 second.
I heard that question come up in the last panel.
So-
That made me laugh.
It's really cool, like to be able to work with the show staff.
Yeah.
And that we get the chance to perform here at conventions or any convention.
You know what? One thing that Saber and I talk a lot about, and it's kind of funny because one of the people running this convention gave me this little tab, and it says luck, and I'm like, it's funny enough. I couldn't agree with that more. Like we're it's mine. We're lucky. We got really lucky with a lot of it for our success. A lot of it was timing. A lot of it was being in the right place at the right time, and then sticking with it. Keeping up the work to go with the luck. And we don't take this for granted, and we're so excited. Like whenever we even for this panel, you guys like you mentioned all coming out here, and for us it's really humbling that you guys want to take your time to have some fun with us, and for us it makes us just want to work even harder to.
You can get rid of these mics and these tables, and we're just people sitting in a room talking to each other.
Can we keep the mics?
Yeah, it's conversation. Stop it. It just so happens that I guess since we've been on stage longer and have not training but practice, and then no training at all. It's easier for us to talk to you all because I remember when I first was in the audience looking on stage, I was stage fright. I was afraid. I remember in college asking my teacher saying, "How do you get up in front of the class and talk to people without being afraid and slipping on your words?" He goes, "You just get used to it. You practice, and you get used to it."
Yep.
Same thing with what we do. That guy right there, Mr. Bernstein, was also a pretty man. No, he was a key instrument to it because he worked with conventions and he talked to us and said, "Hey, I like your work. Y'all want to, do a panel or two?"
You know what sold me on Saberspark?
What's that, Mr. Drift?
Cooking with ponies.
Oh Lord.
You got to do another one of those.
So,
You guys see it?
Draft, do you want to explain the story a bit?
So, okay, back in the day.
Wait, hold on. Final Draft, by the way, he's a convention staff person. He works with this con. He used to work with Evergreen Network. He was the guy who was in charge of it. So he's got a pretty awesome record of accomplishments.
I've given up a lot of life. Dignity out the window. Gone.
When did you ever have it?
He was saying, you guys are telling stories about being recognized. I got recognized one time, and that was by my students.
Was it your student? Please
who were
officer?
Bronies, this is back in 2012. And they're like, "You're final draft, aren't you?" I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And my student Joey just goes, just shakes his head. No, you know what? What sold me on him and the reason I started working with him, and then in the end, is Sabers and Race have inherent comedic talent, which that's what the acronym stands for. We had a show on EFN called EQI, Equestrian Inquirer, and it was like a mock news show. And for whatever reason, they decided to include a segment by Saber. I hadn't heard of him before then. This is early 2012. And it was called Cooking with Ponies, I think.
Yeah.
And he was going to make a cake. He's like, "Well, we're going to do this the pony style." And he just takes 2 tumbler glasses and puts them on his hand. Because you have to cook with hooves. And he's picking up bottles of milk and dropping them. Smashing eggs. And this is all part of the process. It was beautiful. I'm like, this is raw comedy,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And raw ingredients.
Raw ingredients.
Yeah, but it was fun doing that. So I guess it just takes time. It's about getting to meet friends and see, finding your voice. That's really important. Find what you're good at and let it grow.
Yeah.
And
You're cutie, Mark.
Sure. I'm a blank.
I like what they said there. I'm going to interject.
Go ahead.
That's what I do.
He's taking over.
You know what? Get what we're saying.
If it worked for me, I gotta use the power shoulder to display my dominance.
By the way, have y'all heard? That's
no,
Beavids, by the way, over there.
Yeah.
Slouching in the chair. He makes great P&Bs.
Beavid stands for Henry.
It's another acronym.
Roll in.
No, at the VA panel, somebody asked, I really want to be famous, and Peter New said that's not the right goal. So, and I think that's a key thing. The people who do well in this fandom, or really anywhere, especially in the entertainment field, are not doing it for the notoriety. They're doing it for the quality of the craft. So they are actively trying to improve what they do and expand what they do. And the people who go out there and are like early on the Brony fandom. How many people have been in this fandom since like 2012, 2011? Okay, do you remember when there was this gigantic wave of DJ musicians?
Yeah.
DJs in front of things, and it's all dubstep, and it was like, I just made a dubstep remix of Discord, and it's like one of the 50 of them. Those musicians, and this isn't true for all of them, a lot of them were doing it because they wanted horse fame or Brony fame. They weren't doing it for the quality of the music, they weren't doing it for the art, and that's why you don't know any of their names. Because they really want to be famous, but that wasn't the right intention. These guys aren't there for the fame. They are there to, you know.
It's not even really
to
fame,
harass the
like
public.
as much as just it's flattering. Just that people are like, hey, I like your craft. It's like you. I remember the first time I ever had somebody watch one of my YouTube videos. It was back in 2009 or 10, and I made a YouTube hoop of this footage from the cartoon version of Return of the King, and it was awful. It was awful. But there's this one guy left a comment who said, like, when I first watched this video, I thought it was horrible, but now my family and I, for whatever reason, love it, and we'll quote it when at the dinner table. And I was like, I don't even know who these people are, but somehow I was able to touch their lives. Now take that and multiply it by whatever, and that's how I feel to this very day about the pony stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of it's just about having fun, and I mean, I'm sure that's why we're all here in the first place. So, yeah, just keep having fun. Yeah.
Yeah. You made a YTP way back then. I'm currently still making them.
Nice.
Yes, that's what I do on my channel.
Sauce.
Yeah. Well, I only recently made my first sauce joke ever. I've been avoiding it so long, but anyway.
And it's inevitable.
The point I'm getting to is that about four years ago, early in the Brony fandom, I made a YTP based on My Little Pony Friendship with Magic. It's called YTP. My Magical Friendship Ponies Are Little, something like that. I can't remember the name now.
You got 5 minutes.
I'm gonna say none of you seen it. It's my most popular video. It has over 600,000 views.
I've probably seen
and
it.
Yeah, it's my most popular 600 views. And I don't think I deserve any of it because I look back and now I think it's one of my worst. I think it was
That's how all creators are, though. They look
Yeah.
back on their work and they're like, because you do improve over time.
Yeah, and it was. And the reason why it was so terrible was because I was rushing it so much. Why? Because I wanted to release it before season 2 aired, and I don't know what I was thinking.
I'll tell you
It was a
something.
bad idea, and I totally regret it. And on top of that, soon after that, I posted it to Equestria Daily, and they took it, and they posted it.
Suckers.
And that got me the views, and I have almost 3,000 subscribers now, but I don't think I deserve any of it.
No, the
so
thing
that
is,
was a bad idea.
there's no deserving of it. It just happens.
Yeah, that's me.
Here's something I've noticed, especially for Tumblr artists, is they'll spend like a week or two or whatever drawing this masterpiece, and it's like 3 notes. And then they're like, here's a sketch of a butt, and it's like 20 million notes.
This is Jay's career in a nutshell.
Who's?
Little Miss J.
There you go.
It'll happen too as a content creator. You'll think that you're coming up with the most brilliant thing, and then it'll be like, nobody watched it.
And then you're like, this took me approximately 13 seconds to make.
You've had that happen a lot.
I made a Steven Universe video that took me like 2 minutes, and it had over 160,000 views. I'm like, I haven't got that many views in over 2 years. What the heck?
Yeah. So that's just something that happens.
It's the internet roll the dice, and sometimes you roll 10. Sometimes you hit 0. I don't play dice games often.
I got a 0.
I got a 0. Wow. We have about 2 minutes left. We do lightning rounds.
Right after this question, let's get to this one.
In your opinion, who is the worst pony?
Rainbow Dash.
How dare you!
The Pegasus from Hercules.
I think Black Beauty gets a lot of credit for. I mean, come on.
You stole my joke. Did
you say Black Beauty?
Yeah. I wrote that.
Coincidence. No. I don't have. Oh. Whoa. I was wondering who said it, and then I remembered you were back there. Say hello to the camera, Henry. I don't have a worst. Who's the worst one?
Rainbow Dash.
Celestia? I don't know.
All right, we're gonna do our lightning round. So what we do?
That's a
is
good
just
question.
Throw up your hands, and we'll just answer it immediately. So it's all about being quick. Go.
Lyra and Domdom?
Yes.
Favorite
Next.
ice cream? Lyra and Bob.
Chocolate.
Next. Yes.
Best number.
Double zero.
Next.
Do you like lemonade?
Yes.
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 Favorite ship?
None.
Cheetos.
Titanic.
Waffle.
Pancakes.
Waffles.
Yours.
Favorite band?
None.
The Police.
The Wiggles.
Best continent.
Earth.
We were all done.
Best Pixar movie?
What?
Shrek.
Cars 2. Did you have something?
Best history podcast.
There is none.
Happy Hour History.
Yes.
Best car in the low budgets.
No.
My Lincoln Continental 1971. Actually, I'm going to say the Runt if you know what that is. Yes.
Prettiest cloud.
Prettiest cloud?
Yes.
Columbus.
The guy in Super Smash Brothers.
Alright, yeah.
Best president?
God bless
Bernie
America.
Sanders.
That is inaccurate.
Donald Trump. Next.
Favorite type of pie?
Chocolate?
Chocolate. Yes, you. Yes.
Oh, I forgot what it was.
That was an
Yes.
e-break
Favorite
moment.
color? Favorite color?
I'm
Turquoise.
colorblind. I'm just kidding, red.
Blue.
We're out of time. Let's do one last
No, there's one more.
Yes.
Favorite period of history?
Oh, favorite period of history? World War One.
This one.
I love World War One.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it very much. What?
It won me over.
More than World War II?
I used a huge fan of Mongolians and their history, but I love World War One. There's so much interesting stuff.
Saber, plug our podcast.
Jeff and I do a history podcast.
Semi-perfect podcast.
We do a history
Yeah,
podcast
POS
every
podcast.
Thursday at 9 p.m. every
He was
week.
semi-perfect.
We do a lot of podcasts, guys. So it's really fun to check it out. So,
Yep.
hey, thank you all so very much. You're amazing.
I know, I just.
Shotgun.
Did you hear how much I had to pull the break?
That's why I jumped in like chocolate.